everybody, it's Pastor Stephanie at Hartford United Methodist Church in Hartford, Michigan. This is the sermon recap for Sunday, May 10th, 2020, and our scripture comes from Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. It's just one verse, so listen closely, don't go anywhere. Jesus says, "No one can serve two masters, for a slave will either hate the one and love the other, or be devoted to one and serve the other. You cannot serve God and wealth." And I know money is something that is normally on our minds. It keeps society running to a degree. We, in the USA, we live in a capitalist society, and so, we rely on that currency on hand so that we can pay our bills, we can pay our mortgage, pay our auto insurance, pay for our groceries, doctor's visits, all those things. We live in a society where you can't go to the doctor and pay in chicken and apples. I wish we could, but we can't. And so Jesus has a lot to say about money. And we need to look at this scripture in context. He says, no one can serve two masters. So what does a master do? Well, in Jesus' time, they control you and they tell you what to do. But they also, a good master should be looking after you, making sure that your needs are met, that you're safe, you're healthy, you're taken care of. And so God makes an outstanding master. Money does not. Think about this. You can choose between God and money. Which one cares about you? Which one knows you, knows your inner being, knows your thoughts, your coming and going, has numbered the hairs on your head and knit you together in your mother's womb? That was God. That wasn't money. God delights when you pray to him, when you talk to him and you have those intimate moments. Money doesn't care what you do or you say or how you're feeling. It's not going to be there for you. Which one can you run out of? Can't run out of God. But it doesn't take very long. Even if you have $1 billion, we human beings can burn through that so quickly. And so what would it look like if you worshiped money? You might look really sharp. You might look really well put together, and people are going to talk and say, oh my gosh, look at that Stephanie. She is so fashionable and so stylish. But it'll only take you so far. What would the world begin to look like if we were to all worship God? We probably wouldn't care so much about what we're wearing, how we're dressed. We would not worry about the latest phone or the newest car coming out. Those would not be a priority for us. And can you imagine? You don't have to keep up with the Joneses or the Kardashians if you do that. You can breathe a sigh of relief and say, boy, those things that would have given me status through money don't matter anymore. What matters is how I treat people. Jesus says, how you treated the least of these, how you treated people that are difficult, how you treated the poor, how you treated people is how you would treat me. And if we could take that mentality, our world would look a whole lot better. And so if we live in a society that dictates we need to have money, but we also are told that we can't serve two masters, what do? We serve God and we love God and put that relationship that we have with him at the forefront. We use money as a tool to serve God and to honor him. And so you can think about this, keep this in mind. When you feel tempted to buy something new, the latest and greatest, ask yourself this: does this purchase honor God? Does it honor God? Jesus talks about money a lot, more than he talks about heaven and hell, even more than he talks about love. And I think this is something important for us to understand. Jesus knew where our hearts were. He knows where our minds are. And so he knows that money is important to us, more important than it probably should be. And so he wants to rectify that. He wants to make it better and say, this is the appropriate relationship you should have with God and the appropriate relationship you should have with money. Think about the prodigal son. He tells us this parable in Luke. The prodigal son wants his inheritance early, and he tells his family goodbye. His father gives him that inheritance he would have received, and the prodigal son takes off to a foreign country and spends it on women and wine. That money runs out. That money does not care about him. But the son says to himself, he comes to his senses, and he says, I'm going to try to return home because my father might hire me as a hired hand. And so he goes home, and the father does not berate him, belittle him. He doesn't chew him out. He runs to him and throws his arms around him and hugs him and kisses him and says, welcome home. And he throws a party. God's love for us is like that. He is so excited when you turn from doing something wrong and you return to him. And so this is our chance. If you've put money as an idol, if you've elevated that above your relationship with God, this is your chance to say, no, money, I'm going to put you in your place. You are an idol to me, and right now you need to be a tool and nothing else. And I'm going to put God on the throne in my heart. We can't take it with us. All of those treasures that we might have today, whether it's an outfit or a phone or a car, whatever it might be, in 100 years, nobody's going to care that you had the iPhone 11 Pro or whatever it is, that you had a new Mustang, that you had a designer outfit. Nobody's going to care in 100 years. They're going to care about what type of person you were, how you showed love in the community. And so the way, if you want to be remembered for something good. But the best way to do that is to be an imitator of Christ and to show love. Where are your treasures? Are you storing them up in heaven where they're supposed to be? Or are they here on earth and they're going to disintegrate? Put God as your master because he loves you. His heart is for you. He wants to take care of you. Money does not love you. It won't ever love you. But God is for you. He loves you and cherishes you. I hope this message has touched you. I hope it's challenged you to think differently about God and differently about money, and that now as a result of that, you're going to use that knowledge to put money in its place and to elevate God. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.